Okay, so I'm really excited because today this is only our second Her Voice is Rising, and I have a phenomenal lady with us today, Aletheia Sophia. I'm so pleased to have you chatting with me and answering my questions today. Thank you so much. I have to be painfully honest, I did not know when my dear friend Reverend Laura nominated Blessed Aletheia. I had no clue who you were, and I felt quite embarrassed because I looked up and I was like, wow, she's written like 10 books and they sound phenomenal, and she's recorded like 2 or 3 audio guides of amazing sacred places in south of France, and I was just like, oh my God. And you don't just do that. You're an orator, you're a minister, a somatic practitioner, a neuropath. You have is it called Liscon? Is that
That's right, Liscon, yes.
Down in Cathar country. Is it actually in the Pyrenees or the edge of the Pyrenees?
Yeah, in the Pyrenees.
In the Pyrenees. Yeah. And I mean, this lady's got a goat ranch, for God's sake. You go straight to the top of the pile for me. You are a busy lady, so I really appreciate you sitting to answer my questions. Is there anything that you would like to add to that intro that I've kind of
No, I think that's about it.
Can we pile in?
Yeah.
Bless her, she's just going to go for it with these questions. Okay. When I say divine feminine, what does that bring to mind for you?
It brings to mind a second attempt at getting it right with Eden. So where we're living, we've been given like a little patch of land. And I'm going back to those Old Testament values of what it means to be a custodian of Eden and applying all those little bits of information that go with the wellness of the earth, the animals, humankind, following their balance, their harmony, and it encompassing everything from the way you treat yourself, others, the animal kingdom, the bird kingdom, the tree kingdom, the water kingdom. So to me, that is the divine feminine. It's not really a shapely woman. It's that as well. But it's this opportunity to try again and find our place, our harmonious place on this earth with all other life.
Wow, yeah. I think the reason why this is an idea that came to me last, because I'm somebody that always tries to get to the root of things and get a real understanding of something, and that's obviously can be quite up in the head with examining stuff, and we're so much more than that. We're spiritual, we're emotional, we're energetic, but I find because we are human beings and there's so much power in knowledge and words, but with this whole spiritual stuff and the terms, divine feminine, it's like, I know that for so many of these things, it's each of us own personal perception, say, of what God is, or divine feminine. So it's interesting, like building up these talks with people to get different perceptions, but it's such a loosey-goosey sort of I can't always drill down into a dictionary term, as it were. So, yes, that's a beautiful way of an understanding of this. I don't know. Is it a concept? Is it an energy? Is it because it's not just a goddess, is it? It's like you've mentioned.
Feels like a choice. Feels like a lifestyle choice. There's nothing that's left out of that choice. But another little piece that wants to come is apparently there is a path of theology called the Way of Beauty. And it's a Marian tradition. And that beauty is something that can only come through the feminine in male and female bodies. It's a feminine radiance, and it balances the dark or chaos. And in many aspects, Mother Mary was the head of that path, the way of beauty. Her beauty, her radiance, her presence is enough for chaos to go, oh, excuse me, ma'am, let me just step in line. It's not about getting rid of the dark or the chaotic. It's certainly not about punishing it and banishing it. But should you just be in that grace, the darkness respects. That's what I keep coming up against, that word. Respects, honors, acknowledges, recognizes. Oh, she's here. Better come into a state of balance.
Yeah, balance is what comes up for me. Like, it can be like this, but you're trying to just get a bit more like this. And there's still this, because you need it. I think it's part of our life and our existence, especially material world stuff. But it's also resonance is like that, isn't it? Signals are like that.
Yes.
It's all frequency. It's all like that. But this beauty is like a bit more.
Yeah. I've been reading a book called Discernment of Spirits by St. Ignatius. And he says our life is consolation, yay times, desolation, times, up and down and up and down and up and down, until you learn, when you're in the time of consolation, get ready, be prepared, soak up this grace, because you know what's coming. And then instead of the big zigzag, it's more of this. Woohoo! Woo!
You've gone from like one of those enormous roller coasters to the little kiddies cup one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how, like, again, being a bit more sort of like, well, it doesn't necessarily the physical, but how does this show up in your life, in your everyday? Is it through practices? Is it through ritual bathing? Is it through just a way of being or thinking? Or
good one. Where we live, beauty is a really strong component. The gardener, Johan, just want to tilt my hat to Johan. He has made the garden exceptionally beautiful. Folks come in from London and Paris and Barcelona, absolutely fried by the frenetic activity of city life. They come to the garden, they start crying. Now that, my friend, is the power of beauty.
Yeah.
It's not as if it's Kew Gardens.
Yeah.
No. Johan has done it in such a way. So he has consulted every seed, everything. And that beauty is what they're feeling. Little details. I put handwritten prayers beside people's beds. It means the world to them, because every person who sleeps in that bed, they read that prayer as if, oh my God, she wrote that just for me. And I feel exactly the right person goes into that bedroom and reads that prayer at exactly the right time in their lives. That's beauty. Seeing how we interact with the goats. Every single goat in the morning, mwah, on the side of the face. Without failure. and a good morning, good morning, Ruby. Good morning, Squigs. And the people are like, what?
She'll be a while. There's 30 goats. Breakfast can wait.
And it's genuine. It's genuine. It's natural. It's balance.
Yeah.
I
find even so. I did a funeral for, unfortunately, a lady lost her son last year. He was in his 30s, and not that it makes it any better, but he'd always had health issues, and it was amazing that he lived that long. But they lived together, and I had the honour of doing his funeral, and then not long after that, she was then in hospital, and then sadly she died. And so then her nephew and her sister, they, who they'd already met me, but I hadn't really met them because they saw me at the son's funeral. And then they gave me this, well, they gave it to all of us, but I say it's mine. This little like real roses in a pot. And then this thing of like, it's like a fake thing of like spongy roses with all chocolates in. I can't have dairy, so I couldn't have the chocolates, but I've kept the roses. And I tended this little rose bush all through the winter. And my colleague thinks I'm nuts. But just probably around the time actually that Linda died, the anniversary year, 2 buds came. And I was like, good morning, buds. Oh, come on. And I brought them rainwater from home and the little rose food. And then everyone, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And she's like, you're talking to a rose. You're like, yeah, but it's like, wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
I bet that I've killed that many plants by accident. And look what's happened.
Yeah.
It's a beauty.
Yes.
Beauty. Yeah.
Beauty, the balance to darkness, to chaos.
Yeah. Now I've got a special question. Where's my special question? So when I did my checking you out on your website and doing my
stalking
research, and you mention, and it fascinates me, it really tweaks something in me, your interest in early Christianity and your Christian contemplative spirituality, and how does that rub along with you with the divine feminine thinking, because I've been brought up in quite a structured church and half my family's Catholic and half of them are Church of England, and it's divine feminine. I mean, old Mary's there, in the Catholic side especially, but there's not a lot of mention of divine feminine.
No. Well, my upbringing was I didn't have a religious upbringing. My father was a Catholic, Irishman. Mum, no. All of this interest in Christianity is self-generated. From a very early age, Dad taught me how to pray, like really early, like 4. And I must confess, I have prayed every single night and day, every single day, all the way through teenage, all the way through my wild 20s. So I think I've really generated a very strong, prayerful relationship with Jesus that just keeps on getting stronger. And so I've got my little relationship going with him and the Lamb of God and the Holy Spirit. These are my go-tos. And then later in life, I did start going to the church, Catholic, being in France. And I thought, this feels different to my relationship. But it didn't make me go, oh, I'm not going to the church. It made me go, let me just backtrack a lot. And so I started to be interested in early Christianity, the sermons of the early Christians. What were they saying? Not really referencing the Bible too much, trying to find other texts to match the feeling I had in my heart, my sacre coeur, my sacred heart. And I did have a very big moment when I went to visit the Sacred Heart in Paris when I was 12. And then I found it. I found the frequency that matched. And it's what I call the desert fathers and the desert mothers. This must have happened in the 1st century. Men and women that just like had that calling. And they had to go out into the desert and live that nomadic, hermit-like existence and just receive. And I went, there it is. That's what I feel. That's what I sort of want to say, the word remember. And I have this feeling that I can remember or imagine Jesus's sermons and the grace and the love and the beauty that must have been pouring out of him. And I asked myself, why don't I see and hear and feel that in the church? Where's that? Where's that Sacred Heart? I can see it in the art. I can hear it in the choirs, but that's not what I'm seeing in the pulpit.
Yeah, when you're saying that, I was thinking, no, yeah, you're not seeing the pulpit, but have you, in your time in France and you visited some of those churches, have you gotten to speak to any sort of ladies in the congregation, or got a sense from them that there's, I don't know, I've just met a few. My auntie Vicky, especially when she lived in Ireland, especially there was definitely a sacred feminine going on there, no matter what the priest was doing, and they're collecting the this and they're confessing the that and stick to this rule and all the rest
Yeah.
of it. Something
Well, I must.
about in the women.
Oh, totally. There's always women who do the cleaning in the church. But the thing is, where we live, this little corner of France is apparently rich with apparitions of Our Lady. If you was to get out a little map of the world and go, right, where has this white lady, this glowing white lady been seen? They'd be like, dot, 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 French Pyrenees, dot, 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 Spain, Portugal, America, Ireland, England. But the cluster would be this little sort of south of France, northern Spain, Catalonia, Occitania.
Yeah.
And so, yes, that is what those cleaning ladies, whenever you go, excuse me, bonjour, madame, they look up and go, oui, and you just see in their face, ah. They see her, they talk to her, they pray to her.
Yeah. Because I think it's almost like and the priests, I'm surprised they allow it really, but it's almost like the ladies have got the direct phone line with the rosary beads.
Yes, yes.
That's what
Absolutely.
I've heard, and I can imagine that fully. Yeah.
I remember going to the Catholic Church in Ireland, and you'd see the ladies in black, the widows, black hairnet, and they'd be doing the rosary really fast. And I'd hear them like mumbling, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, whoa, scary. But then when I did it, being a somatic person, I did it really slow. And I really loved up each bead. And I took my time to have some emotion behind each word of the Hail Mary. What?
Yeah, I find the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to admit, my daily prayer is generally when I'm driving to work. It's nearly an hour when I go to the funeral home, or actually, unless I'm at the nearest crematorium when I'm as a celebrant or a minister. But sometimes I'm going all the way up to Devon, or I'm going all the way to Plymouth, so that's about an hour as well. But the times that I pray, and it's beautiful, and I've had a lot of sort of very deep connection with Mary when I get to the big beads, because I don't do it the Catholic way, and that's my conversation time with her, as it were. But when I do the same at home, that is all I'm doing. Yeah.
Yes.
Really, I did a video. I've done a few rosary videos on here, and one of them, it was like I had this. It was so beautiful. It was like when you go in like a big cathedral or a church, and there's the dome bit, and it is joined on. It's all open space, but you feel like you're in that column with the dome. There's a different sense in that space when you're, and it was like that internally, but full of roses, and all
Yes.
and it was just the most amazing thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that interests me, Grace, is ecstatic nuns.
Oh.
Now, this is a real phenomenon. It was
very,
very strong. In medieval times, you would have heard of great ladies like Hildegard von Bingen. A few names have escaped me. But there was a period in medieval times, which is interesting because it's running parallel with a very heavy period. So, crusades, that's going on. But then you've got this going on. And, quite a few of these nuns' diaries have now turned into book form, which have been translated and we can read them. And you're reading like Hildegard, her personal diary, her personal journey. Whoa, whoa. And, if I could say this in a graceful way, it seems to me that when the Christ appears before you or within you, it can only be described as ecstatic or rapture. It's a big wave. It's not like, oh, the Christ has just appeared. It's everything gets taken up, everything. And these ladies were having these meetings with the Virgin Mary, with Christ, as Jesus of Nazareth, and later the Christ, Lamb of God, Archangel Gabriel. But it seems when they appeared, their entire body, their human system, lit up like a Christmas tree. And it was not a quiet or pious experience. You know, you just got to read, like Catherine of Siena. She was on the bed writhing. Teresa of Avila, you know, that sculpture of a little cherub pulling back the arrow. And she's like that, yes. She's peeling open her dress. This is in the Vatican. Going right here, stick that arrow right here.
So I've heard about when people have the like Kundalini experience where it's full bodily gone berserk sort of an energy thing, or is it like an orgasmic sort of a thing, or a kind of a combination of all of that? But
I
not.
have no idea because I haven't had one.
Oh,
But I just love that word rapture.
yeah,
I think you might end up saying, take me, take all of me. Because
yeah.
even to read it off the page, I'm starting to get it. It's like, I don't want anything left for myself. Please, Lord, please, Lady, take it all. I'm willing.
The word coming to me is surrender.
Yeah.
And I think people have a real problem with, oh, well, even if I was thinking about maybe becoming a bit goodly and godly, but I'm not going to surrender because I quite like to control my own life and I quite like to make my own choices. And it's an understanding of actually being in a state where you're just like you say,
Yeah.
have all I am. It's
Yes.
yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is yours. It was always yours. It shall ever be yours. In for a penny and for a pound.
Yeah. Hey. Oh, and another thing on your on the about me bit of your website was you used whoever's written that's used the term feminine principle. Would you say in the linguistic way, is that the same as divine feminine, or is that it's like a separate thing? Or this is my autistic brain trying to drill into the wording of things.
Yeah. Yes, I'd say it's one and the same. Yeah, perhaps the word principle might mean start point or origins. You know, the feminine principle, the origins, and then down she comes, and sacred feminine and divine feminine and Virgin Mary and Mary Magdalene and the White Lady and Hildegard von Bingen, until it's a very earthly, mortal woman.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
principle makes me think that first point, that first light.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful! This is very exciting. How do you think it would look socially and culturally, and in our family life and in our work life, if divine feminine was at play, like it was just something very everyday for us? It was something completely accepted. It seems to be a thing that this seems to be like, oh, you have to be a woman in a floaty dress with joining the priestesshood with flowers in your hair on Beltane, or you have to be this, or you have to be a crystal healer, and also you have to be a woman. And I'm not entirely sure that's, you mentioned before, it's not just the female, it's the male. It's
Yes.
balance
Yeah.
both sexes.
Yes. Well, I think we're on that trajectory. I feel that's absolutely what's happening. A very natural inclination, an inevitable inclination is coming. We're swinging into that area, that Eden, that second Eden. I also feel we might have glimpsed it in our ancient past. And I don't believe we're going to go back to that. So I think, classical Greece, that would have been a very feminine time. Ancient Egypt, a very feminine time. Lemuria, etc. But that, I love though. I love the imagination of those times. But where we're heading excites me more because I can feel that masculine presence too, and that's what I want. I've always worked very much internally in myself, sacred union. So I've got my Jesus, I've got my Mary, I've got my God the Father, and I've got my earthly mother. And that is where I feel we're heading, that balance again. Yeah, and maybe we don't even know what that word means anymore, masculine.
Yeah.
We only know patriarchal. We go, masculine is patriarchal. What if the true design of masculinity is not patriarchal? That's an overlay, big old heavy overlay.
That's the very tiny elite at the top.
Yes.
That are pushing, and actually most men underneath throughout the ages. That's not really that's not them, and you're not really permitted to be in that bracket anyway. Very few of you. Yeah.
Yes.
I think of the work of Jordan Peterson, and really, saying just there's so many men, especially young men, they're just completely disillusioned and they hate themselves and they hate the world and they hate everything. And where's that going to lead us? It's not going to lead us anywhere. And then you think of all the women that are like staunch feminist. I mean, it's gone past. I always thought burning your bra sounded quite good fun. About 60s or second 70s. I don't know if people actually did it. Maybe they did. Maybe they.
Oh no, they did.
They did. So it's not just saying. It's like they literally.
No, that was their protest flag, the burning bra.
Excellent, Jermaine Greer. But I just think it's almost like now you've got this weird polarity of young men that should be at their most virile masculine of whatever we think masculine is, but actually they're just hating themselves and everything and they don't know what to do. And then you've got women that are just like almost becoming manly, that are just like spitting chips on their shoulder. I just think like, wow, whoa.
Yeah, everything's up in the air. Absolutely. You name it, it's up in the air.
I think that's the shakedown and the, when you're having transformation, that thing of the butterfly and the chrysalis, and it's all squishy and horrible and painful, and then it goes to beauty. I think it's kind of seems to be we're all in the washing machine of it.
Yeah.
A necessary time of change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're saying about like not going back, I really, I mean, Mother Earth and nature, it's all cycles, it's all going round. But in terms of our human history, I see it as going round. You can see cycles, you see natural annual cycles and also, but it's like that, the way they draw the diagram, funnily enough, I'm picturing when they diagram the Big Bang, and it's like the code. And actually, so it is going round, but it's moving forward. So it's more a spiral in that.
Yes, higher octave every time. Yeah.
So it won't come back to what it was, but maybe there was a golden time, but we're doing it in a different new state of consciousness way.
Yes.
I know people they're living in so much fear and worry, and I mean, I have my moments where you think, oh, crikey, what's going to happen? We'll go to hell in a handcart, and then you think, no, it just feels like such ultimate hope that like this has to happen. All the crappy stuff has happened for a reason, and God knows there's been some really horrific stuff, and still today horrific, and it seems like it's ramping up. I said to my granddad, he's 99, and I said to him maybe last year, I said, do you think, Granddad, that the world has always been this, the world's getting madder? And he went, no, it's pretty much always been like this in different ways. Well, I'll take that from a 98-year-old.
Yeah.
Do you think that we are seeing a major re-emergence or re-engagement with divine feminine? Like, is it something that's... I'm just aware of it because I suppose on Instagram or YouTube, it's going to keep showing me that stuff because that's what I have an interest in.
Yes.
I think in the wider world and socially, do you think it is
Yes, absolutely, without doubt. Yeah, and since COVID, it's really mainstream now. It's really out there in the world of celebrities, nutrition, TV. It's not a spiritual trend anymore. It's burst its banks. It's, even like the nomination for the new Pope, Pope Leo. Strapline, he wishes for female bishops.
Oh.
So it's like the Vatican has nominated a new Pope, Pope Leo. His outstanding work has been to bring women into the level of bishop. Mainstream news. That's how they're introducing the new Pope.
Yeah, of all the things that they could say about the guy.
Yeah, they could say he's an American, he's this age, No.
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
Mary's really doing
it's
Mary's hard at it in the background there, then.
It will be interesting because this has been his theme. He was very close to Francis. Francis earmarked him and went, listen, guys, if ever I pop off, I'd love him to take my place. And this was what he was known for. And it's going to be so interesting if he is able to keep this conversation going now that he's got the ultimate seat of power.
So it's not like a prime minister or a president. He does it until he dies or quits, doesn't he? A pope?
Yes.
Oh wow! So he could have a fair few years to have a good crack at it then.
He looks extremely healthy to me. Looks like there's plenty of life in there.
And it didn't. Because I only heard about it. I think we were at mother-in-law's last night eating her lovely homemade pasties, and I just heard it on the radio. They always have the radio in the background, and I was like, oh wow! And he's called Leo, which
yes,
I know. And you're like, oh, Leo the lion, courageous, strength,
yes,
just solid and quiet thinking.
Yes, Lion of Judah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's also it's a Christed image, the lion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how fascinating. Yeah. Watch this space.
Go, Leo.
For those interested in exploring this, if we're to call, say, divine feminine, say a specific path, is there any sort of practice or consideration or reading or any sort of a thing that you would say? I mean, you've mentioned the book, St. Ignatius's book, but is there, what, I don't know, if you would say, try this.
BODY. Body. The sacred feminine is going to ask for the body. She will be asking for that body to move, to feel, to become healthy and vital. And she's definitely wanting you to do some serious loving through it. So if you touch an animal, or you smell a flower, or you hold a child, or you hold your dearest friend, it's her love that she wants to be flowing through.
It's making me think of something you said a minute ago, and you said Heavenly Godly Father and Mother Earth. See, some people would say, oh, there's a Mama God and there's a Father God. But
yes.
You went, because then I was thinking as above as so below, which is
absolutely
something ever since I'd started the ministry course in 2020, that was just a saying that kept coming up and really just drilling into my head. And that's one of the things that I've been trying to wrap my head around, why that's so prevalent. But I'm thinking that if you think of in the sense that, whether you want to say it's a man or whatever, feminist, just be quiet a minute. Let's just take God is the masculine and he's heavenly, but that's like the consciousness or the energetic life force. It's making me think that this love and the bodily thing is, we are of the material world. We are of the earth, mother. And that's
Yes.
the meeting of the two, isn't it? The consciousness,
Yes.
energetic, and the spiritual with the spiritual Mother Earth, the physical
Yes.
of the feelings, yeah,
Yeah.
like
And the, coming full circle, getting it right. The second chance at Eden. We're down here for a reason. Why are we here? Why are we humans? Why are we on planet Earth? Is it not to take care of her
and
and
why
all other life? Yeah.
Even when you go, you get sent back, or you agree to come back, or however it works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bringing heaven to earth. Bringing earth to heaven. Closing the gap.
yeah, forming the loop.
Yeah.
It's like it's that, and it needs to be this.
Yeah.
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 Wow. And the last question is there anything not mentioned here that you sense needs to be added or raised?
I have been saying this sentence a lot in this year. It is her hour. I really do feel that. And also, the changing of the Pope. I feel this is also part of it. Yeah. I often look at the terminology, woman of the apocalypse, coming from Book of Revelation, John's account of his visionary ascent. Climbing all through those 7 seals, getting to the throne. Oh my God, the Father God is sat there. When he can finally look through all that bright white light, it's not a man sat there, little lamb. And that just breaks my heart wide open every single time. And so this woman of the apocalypse, biblical writers write, oh, woman of the apocalypse, end of the world. What if it's just her hour? This is her hour. The apocalypse could mean change.
Yeah, because we're
coming and it's joyful.
Yeah. God damn it. Exactly that. There was the whole 2012 thing. Oh, the Mayan prophecy of the world going to end, and everyone's and before that, actually, it was the millennium that we're all going to be killed by computers, because when the clock goes 000, everything's going to explode. And then it was 2012, and now it's this like, apocalypse times. We're in the end of times. We're in the end of times, and it doesn't matter whether you're watching from the big spiritual pudding of things, that sort of more end of like your woogly woohoo, whatever, or your Catholic. It's end of times. But actually, I just think, it's the end of the Piscean times. Now we're moving into Aquarian times, and there's going to be ruction and this and that, and we're back to the butterfly squishing and painful goo, and then coming out amazing. I think it is. And again, if it's the woman of the apocalypse, what is the woman? She's rebirth. She's
Yes.
So, yeah.
And also the woman of the apocalypse, she's very, very pregnant. She's like 8.5 months pregnant.
Like she's eaten the world.
That's not the symbol of death.
No.
That's the symbol of birth.
Yeah. And birth is painful, and so everyone's a bit squeamish about it. Oh, I don't want to go down the business end. Well, do you know what? Somebody's got it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a great one to end on. Oh, brilliant. Excellent.
Yay.
I'm useless at technology, everybody, and it's been a bit of this is a new thing recording on here, and I really hope that this is recorded, because this has been a fantastic chat.
I think so.
Good. Got a thing here saying whereby.com is sharing a window, stop sharing. So I'm hoping if I click stop sharing in a minute, that's going to say I've recorded it. Yay. So you are doing all phenomenal things. I know there is a what is it called? The thingy network.
The Shift Network.
Yeah, you've got a 7-week course, and now I'm wondering, that's already started, but it's a thing that you can still sign up for and go back into.
Yes, you can. I think you've got up until the 3rd week to do that, and that will be next week. but they've asked me to come back in the autumn winter for an advanced graduate course.
Oh,
So the shift are like, yay,
yeah.
let's do more. And I have a feeling I want to do something like the Holy Order of Mary Magdalene. I want this 3-month course to really be about ministry. Like, ladies and gents, if you feel in your little secret heart you're meant to be doing ministry, but you might not want to do it in theology college for reasons, let that not stop you. And I know that's a little bit controversial, but as I said, this is her hour.
Yeah,
I think she's got to go out there and start washing feet.
I'm I'm friends with Laura, and she's Reverend Laura, and she said to me the other day, "Oh, you use your Reverend title." She said, "I was, and then I wasn't, and I don't now, and I do probably will again, but you use your." And I said, "Yeah," I said, partly because that is like the biggest, most powerful experience, and if anyone has earned the title, I'm not one for titles. I'm definitely not one for levels of structure of power. But what I have and what I really see is there is a need for leaders, mostly because there is certain personality qualities and things that some have and others don't, and so others are happy to be led. They don't want to be the one at the front doing the teaching or the organising or the responsibility or whatever. They have other skills.
Yes.
So with the ministry thing, yeah, I do, but I use Reverend partly because no, I'm not Church of England, and I'm not from any church, but it's having people again taking a different view at being a reverend. So your course is not necessarily going to be you come out with Reverend, but ministering is.
Yeah.
Some people have got such a, I suppose, not surprisingly, such a tied up thing with religion, but actually ministry is just going out and spreading a word or spreading love or doing, not good deeds. That sounds a bit lame, but even people need to understand that, open up to like ministry can be really something for you actually. And it's not, you haven't got to be a sort of a nun or
no. Although happily would.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's right for some. Yeah. Fantastic. Oh,
okay.
Have you got any more books in the pipeline? I suppose you're a bit busy with things, really.
Got one coming out this month called Sacred Body Awakening, which again is that embodied love coming through the hands, through the holding, through intimacy, not being scared of intimacy. I just mean personal intimacy, not sexual. Just letting love flow through you, basically. Care and blessing. Making a blessing, giving someone a blessing, making it a real thing that you do. You don't shake hands anymore. You actually take the opportunity to get a quick blessing in. Like, see you. Can I give you a blessing before you go? Oh, yes, please. Ta-da!
Yeah.
Or just anything, a little touch on the shoulder. May peace be upon you.
I really went for it with Lent this year. I have ended up in a funny position. I went to a local church when I moved into, because I'm come from the countryside and I married this gorgeous man, and I had to move into this town, which I literally live in the middle of town. And it just absolutely does my head in. So I went to this church over the way for this sanctuary. I was literally woken up one morning with a voice saying, "Get up and go to church today. You're going to church." Right? Okay, I'll do that. Anyway, this is and when I got there was Mother Mary, a statue in front of me, and I was like, "Oh, this is why I'm here." Okay, right, got it. Yeah, but this is developed into me training to be a server, and then being a stand-in server, and now I'm actually serving. And then anyway, the Ash Wednesday service, which I don't know how I've not been to one before, but I clearly haven't, because I do remember having the cross put on your head.
Yes.
And the vicar has to say some words. And I'm thinking, wow, he's got a lot more words to say, but he's already done the cross. What's he going to do? And he just laid his hand just on my head. And the biggest thing that struck me after that service was how little we're touched now.
Yes.
Unless you go for a massage or you go to the doctors or you it's and how lovely that was, especially on that point of the body.
Yes.
Oh, there was just something about it. So I'm not,
Yes.
everyone should go around resting hands on people, but
Yeah.
we have such little physical touch, and it seems a shame. We're
Yes.
such connected beings, but it's
There is something now called touch starvation. And it does have an effect on your nervous system, your brain, your anxiety levels. Doctors and folks who study the body are now classifying this.
Well, that must be the thing when you hug someone, 3 minutes plus is the way to go,
Yes.
because it's doing something physically to our body, our somatic. Oh, what is it called? Your thingy nerves. Oh, I do Qigong, and he tells us about it all the time. Do I remember any of the words? No.
Oh, central vagus nerve?
Yeah, there's vagus nerves, but there's your other system. Oh, it's one of your
Parasympathetic?
parasympathetic.
Sympathetic.
That's the one. Yes, all of that. It's your nervous
Yeah.
parts of your nervous system. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, fantastic. Well, good luck
Yeah.
with that book. That sounds like
Yeah.
the world is much needing that. Yeah, yeah, very much. And everybody, you can look on Aletheia Sophia's website and go and stay at Liscon and have amazing times and eat in the vegan cafe and buy beautiful. You do oils and all sorts of things.
Oils. Yeah, lots of holy oil.
Mess around with goats. Oh, you have like what does it say? A food. Oh, what does it say? It's I've written it down.
Apothecary.
Yeah, your apothecary. But there was something like a goat run. I've written it down there somewhere. Food forest, because you make pretty food on site.
Yeah. That's what Joanne's up to, a big permaculture food forest.
I love the sound of a food.
Just growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Grace.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Aletheia, so much for having this conversation with me. Oh, I just love spending time with you, and thank you everyone for watching. And it takes time to, I'm devoted to doing this, but it takes time and effort to produce these videos. And so yeah, if you got anything from it or you really enjoyed it, which I really hope you did, then please do give it a like. Takes seconds, and hit the subscribe button. I'm really trying to grow this channel. It seems to be very slow at the minute. I'm sure it'll come as and when it's ready, but yeah, you're not signing your life away to anything, and it really helps the YouTube good old algorithms to know that more people want to watch this and you like this sort of content, and welcome any comments and feedback and things that you might like to see. There are more of these conversations to come, and yeah, we're bringing in a bit more of the divine masculine very soon, and as much as more voices on from other females, and yeah, it means also subscribing, that you will be shown more of this content and you won't miss the next one. So yeah, peace be with you. Take good care. Ciao for now.